All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X Zone, a place where fact is fiction and reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
Doing that thing you do, breaking my heart into a million pieces, like you always do. And you don't mean to be cruel, you never even knew about the heartache I've been going through. Well, I try to forget you, girl, just so hard to do. Every time you do that thing you do, I know all the games you play, and I'm gonna find.
And welcome to a new week here in the X Zone, everyone. My name is Rob McConnell, and for the next 4 hours, I'm your host and your guide as together we cross the time-space continuum to this place that I call the X Zone. It's a place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard. It's a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. The X Zone comes to you Monday through Friday, right here from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, on the all-new X Zone Broadcast Network. If you'd like to give us a call, toll-free worldwide, 1-800-610-7035. That's 1-800-610-7035. My email address is xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. On MSN Messenger, xzoneradiotv@hotmail.com. And our two websites. Our main website for X Zone Radio TV is www.xzoneradiotv.com. Now, if you'd like to watch, listen to the X Zone Radio Show 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days of the year, www.xzonetv.com. My guest this hour is Nader Pourhassan. We've had the pleasure of having Nader on the show before. And I received an article that Nader wrote over the holidays. And Nader, first of all, welcome back to the X Zone. Great having you with us. And I was wondering if you could tell me a bit about the new article that you published entitled, "Free Iran is Identical to Free Islam, from Quran's Perspectives Only."
Thank you for having me, first of all, and thank you about all. The article talks about how the freedom of Iran is only possible with freedom of Islam, because Islam is the reason of downfall of Iran.
Mm-hmm.
The revolution happened because people trusted this religion, and when they trusted it, the religious leaders promised them so many things, and now that they're in the power, everything's opposite. And many people are very much fed up with it. They want to stop. But still, there is a group of fanatics, a large group of fanatics that are, keeping the hold of the power and killing the innocent people in the streets and not letting them come out of it. And those groups, they think they're working for God, just like a terrorist who goes and kills, and somebody brainwashed him that this is for God. So if we free Islam from all these man-made laws and bring to attention of the people of the world, especially Iranians, that Quran and Islam, today Islam, is a completely different thing, that would open their mind, and that would give a lot of fuel to the people who are fighting against this government. They could actually say, okay, show us where does it say in the Quran that we can kill some innocent person for a good cause, even for a good cause. So the verses in Quran, I have arranged them for people to get hold of it very clearly and very easily, and I took all the verses, for example, of killing, so nobody would have any doubt saying, well, maybe there is a verse over there that says that. All the verses that the religious leaders use, the fanatic ones, against humanity in Iran especially, is out of the context. They say kill infidel, has nothing to do with USA or Israel, and they relate it to that. But in fact, 1/3 of the Quran is about Israel and children of Israel. And it talks a lot of time about how great they were, and God chose them as a God's people. These things are not heard in the world of Islam. I was part of the fanatic group, and I know that they never bring these verses out. They never want them to know that God has such a high regard. Chapter 3, verse 55, I always say, it says that the followers of Jesus Christ will be above the non-believers until the end of the world. That's a very major prediction, and if that's the case, why are these fanatics killing the children, the children of Israel that does follow Jesus Christ? So these are very crucial.
Nader, please stand by. You and I have to take our first commercial break. X-Zone Nation, Nader Pourhassan is our very special guest. There's two websites, christianmuslims.org and then Quran-truthlie.com. I'll be back on the other side of this 2-minute commercial break with Nader Pourhassan on the other side of this break as the X-Zone continues live and around the world from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada on the all-new X-Zone Broadcast Network. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
It's evolution. Well, we all want to change the world. But when you talk about destruction, don't you know that you can count me out? Don't you know it's gonna be alright?
1-800-610-7035 is toll-free right around the world. That's right, toll-free worldwide at 1-800-610-7035. My email address is xzone@xzoneradiotv.com, and our websites www.xzoneradiotv.com and www.xzonetv.com. Our special guest is Nader Pourhassan. He has a PhD, and he is the author of an article that was sent to me over the weekend. Free Iran is identical to free Islam from Quran's perspective only. And here's the opening paragraph. Iranian Muslims, like the rest of Muslims, have always trusted their man-made laws as true Islamic laws. This is rapidly changing in Iran simply because they are realizing that the religion their government used to get to the power is anything but a gracious, kind, and loving religion. This is why millions of Iranians, educated or non-educated alike, were deceived to trust their Islamic religious leaders to rule over them. They thought surely a godly religion would be a kind and loving to all people, and Iran would be nothing but the best and will shine like a star in the world stage. They were in for a big surprise. We could call it the biggest surprise of the century. Many who supported this regime are now adamantly against it, and that goes even for some religious leaders themselves in Iran. Joining me now is Nader Pourhassan. And Nader, what was your inspiration for writing this article, which I'm sure is shaking up various members of the Muslim community?
Well, I have a brother and sister who both came and visited me just a few months ago, and they went back home. And when I called them, there is a 10-day was coming up, which they call it Ashura in Iran. They mourn the death of a great leader of Islam long time ago, 1400 years ago, and people were going to demonstrate. And my brother and my sister, they both writing their will and giving it to my mom and going on the street demonstrating. And they told me, if you can write something about this and we can translate it and give it to some people over there, it will really be great. So I said definitely, because the Islam that came to Iran is the cause of all the downfall. And they really liked the article and they translated right away. The thing about Iran is they most Iranians don't realize that King Cyrus, the king that brought all this power to Iran in long time, 2,000 years ago, almost over 2,000 years ago, and his name is in Bible. His name is in the book of Daniel, in the book of Ezra. It's in the other books of Bible that they talk about it. That this king were the one that God talked to him and got him to go and free Israelites, the children of Israel, from the hands of Babylonian king, King Nebuchadnezzar.
Mm-hmm.
And when he freed them, that was the only nation that he did not take any plunder from them. He took all the gold article and gave it back. And this king is responsible for building up Jerusalem back up and gave them freedom to do that. And the King Darius is the person who marries Esther, and that's a book of Bible. It's all about that person, Esther, which was a great lady, and she became the queen of Iran. Queen Vashti was, taken off that position, and Queen Esther became queen, and she was a Jewish person, and that's why there is Jewish Iranian in Iran from that time. Now, if Iranians realize that Iran became great Persia because they honored Israel and the children of Israel, and our king is responsible for that, that's a great lesson to learn and say, okay, should we now say, let's go kill Israel, and the president that's out there saying that Israel should be destroyed, should we really stand up for these people, or should we go back to our heritage and embrace Israel, embrace anything good, anything that's good? If Israel does something bad, we will definitely talk against it. And if they are, but just saying that Israel must not exist or come up with this amazing dumb statement that he's making that is Holocaust really did happen or not. These are embarrassing for Iranians. Iranians are a great nation and they are great people, and they've been taken hostage, and the way they are taken hostage is these religious leaders are taking Quran hostage, and in the name of Islam, they're saying things that are not there. I wish there was, a big gathering, and they would sit these leaders, and somebody ask him. For example, when Ahmadinejad, President Ahmadinejad came to CNN Live, I wish Larry King would ask him, sir, could you tell us which verse in the Quran has said a woman should cover her hair to be a great woman, to be a great person? Tell us that verse so we can tell the Iranian people, well, they don't have any right to say women should be able to uncover their hair because it's in the Quran and it's the laws of God, and you guys supported Islam, so you should obey that. But those rules are missing. It's amazing that so many things that they do in Iran. The article I wrote before that was, did Quran say fast 30 days the whole month of Ramadan and all this sickness and all these problems? And I have article after article from the scientific point of view that Muslims are getting hurt in the month of Ramadan for fasting 30 days. There's more traffic accidents in certain areas where they took a statistic of that. There is more sickness in their whole community. There's 1.2 billion Muslims. They happily go without food from sunrise to sunset. Yet in Quran it says fast few days, and it says fasting was written for you just like it was written for Jews and Christians before you. So somebody show me, where does it say in Bible, do not eat and do not drink, dehydrate yourself from sunrise to sunset? So this is just an example of how far they have gone away from Quran, and to do that, you must be, expert at manipulating the words, because the word of God in Quran and the Bible, to me, when it comes to guidance, is so simple that if a little kid with sixth grade education was told, they would understand it, because they are like, be good, don't say bad words, take care of your behavior. These simple words, which are the lessons of heart, these are not lessons of brilliance, lessons of heart, everybody must carry during the day. These religious leaders, in the name of just guidance, they taking over the country and taking care of things that they don't have no education. They have prime minister, excuse me, they have Congress people that are all religious leaders. They study religious matters which was actually man-made laws that they studied. They didn't even study the Quran. So how could we be hostage so much? And we have president who has no knowledge of almost anything when it comes to the world relationship. They make a very big pride thing about it, that they are standing against America and the world because they want to have nuclear power. And they tell Iranians, we have the right to do that also. Yet they don't even have no knowledge of what is United Nations stands for. Why are all the countries have to be mutually in agreement?
Mm-hmm.
It's because they don't want to have World War III. They don't have that knowledge. These people is amazingly taken away from the truth, just like a terrorist, a fanatic terrorist that goes do bombing and kills himself. Ultimately, this sickness kills the person himself.
It's very obvious from watching the news reports that are coming out of Iran that the people there are tired of living under a government that is very does not suit what they want. Why can't they just vote that government out instead of living under tyranny like they do?
They voted it out already 8 years ago, but they take the votes and they change it. And if you dare speak against it, they will kill the people. They are so evil that in their ways, they never have second thought. I mean, they had the votes counted, and President Ahmadinejad lost by landslide. I was watching CNBC, and the CNBC actually, they broke their financial news. It was about 11 o'clock when the day came that they were counting the votes, and CNBC said Mousavi has won, and that's a great thing. And actually, the oil price, they said it jumped because of that news. And because they said, okay, there might be some stability because Mousavi is a person that was pro-relationship with America. Then, about an hour later, they came back and said, no, they said that Ahmadinejad won. And the person who first broke that news in Iran, he got killed about a few hours after that. So, I mean, there is no freedom, then there is nothing. I mean, Ahmadinejad sat there on Larry King Live and said, well, we want to have rules for our people, and they're supposed to obey the rule. Don't you guys have rules in America that we have to, obey? So our people have to obey the rules. But he doesn't say the rules are against humanity. There is no human right observing when they were putting those rules. The rules of America Constitution, in this article that I wrote, I actually compared the Bill of Rights, the First Amendment, freedom of speech, freedom of religion. Mm-hmm. I compared that with the Quran and the rules in Iran. And you'll be shocked when you read the article how much different that is from Islam and how much Quran aligns with those rules. Freedom of speech, freedom of religion. Two times in the Quran it talks about do not force anybody under religion. Leave everybody's religion alone. That's their right. Where did they come up? If somebody asks Ahmadinejad, excuse me, this is the laws that you guys are putting on people, but in your religion, in Quran, it says that. How do you explain that? He will be panicking because, there is no explanation. Or if somebody asks him, where does it say in Quran, so such and such, he will be, shocked because these people don't have any knowledge of Quran. They just going based upon the man-made laws that was given to them from, very early ages. And that's the way I was. I grew up as a fanatic. I was part of them. We see each other, we hug each other, and we cry when it comes to mourning for our leaders that 1,000 years died, and we make a very big deal. And then they give us information that absolutely has no basis. They say, oh, did you hear what America just did in Africa? We say, no. They send them shoes, and the shoes are contaminated with cancer or some kind of disease. They just wanted to wipe up that tribe. You say, they did that? And they go, yeah, we have very good close information, reliable information.
Nader, please stand by. We've got to take our news break. Exo Nation. Nader Pourhassan is our special guest. ChristianMuslim.org, Quran-Truthlie.com. We'll be back after the news as we continue right here on the all-new Exxon Broadcast Network.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
The road is long with a many a winding tongue that leads us to who knows where, who knows where. But I'm strong enough to carry him. He ain't heavy, he's my brother. So on we go.
Nader Pourhassan is our special guest, and Nader, what's it like being over in America and watching the strife and the turmoil that's going on in Iran, knowing that your very own family may be out there protesting because they want their freedoms and they're fed up with the way things are being run, and even though the people spoke 8 years ago, it's as if no one listens. It must be very frustrating for them.
Yes, it's very nerve-wracking, and when you see the truth has been manipulated so much about the Quran and Islam, and then you see the iron fist that they're holding above the people's head when they have voting and their votes are not counted, and the people are saying, please allow us at least to have the right to vote and let our votes be counted. It's very frustrating, and there's a lot of Muslim Iranians out here, and there's a lot of non-Muslims in America that are protesting against these things. One thing is these protesters, sometimes they don't agree themselves. If they could just find any little common unity and just grab that and unite themselves, that would do a lot better for them. But watching it from here, it's a little bit nerve-wracking for everybody, and rightfully so. You have a government that has no bound on being cruel to these own people. I one time said to a friend of mine, I said, if you really want to see if a person is really a good person or not, just find out if he is very, very good in his own house, in the closed door, if he's nice to his wife and gracious to his children. Now, that's a verse in the Bible. It says a person can become a bishop of a church and a leader of a church only if he can have a wife and children and raise them in harmony and very happy, and people who would walk in the path of God. Then he's ready for the house of God. Now, Iranian government, to their own people, they are cruel, this government. Now, how could they be, anything besides being just cruel to the whole world when it comes to foreign policies? And yet they turning everything around and saying things that are just absolutely mind-boggling when you look at these people, the way they go about their business.
Tell me, what is it like being a Muslim living in America these days?
Well, America has always been, since I've been in America, they have been very gracious. And at one time when the hostages were taken in Iran, some people, were being very hard, and I was a fanatic Muslim at that time, and a couple of times, I got heated discussions with some Americans, and some people were fearing their life. Maybe, there would be some fights. But now, being Muslim in America is the best thing for me, because I actually was able to go read the Quran, because I was going to fight against America. But then when I read the Quran, I realized, my God, everything about America is aligned with Quran as far as the Constitution goes. Now, I know there is a lot of bad can happen in America. There is, things that happen, but it doesn't mean the Constitution is like that. For example, before I come to America, a very close family friend of ours told me, be very careful, my son, when you go to America, you are picking the diamond from the mouth of devil. That means you're going to get knowledge, but this is a place corruption is everywhere. You will be very soon lost. So very carefully get your education and come back to Iran and fight against this government. So this is the kind of teaching we get told to, and a very close family member of mine, it's an older person, was in America, and he was saying, no, this government is not that bad. You know, when they ask somebody to cover their hair in the street, they say it politely. If they're not polite, then they hit them. I mean, that's, you think about it. They tell them politely, cover your hair, please. And if they have few hair coming out, then they hit him. And he was okay with that. So at one time he asked me, the way you're talking against Islam today, which religion do you think is the best religion in the world right now? I said, well, to be honest with you, I never thought about it. But now that you're asking, I think Buddhism. They're very peaceful people. And he was very shocked. He thinks that I was against Islam. I'm not against Islam. I am for Quran. I am actually for any religion that has peace and love in it. And they get very, very brainwashed in Iran, and it's amazing the way they think, you know, and those are the people who support. They're people with no education that have no knowledge of Quran, and if they have education, they have no knowledge of Quran. That's the way these people are able to, you know, have these masses moving with them for so many years and for so long.
In your article, you write, to free Iran from the hands of the religious leaders, we must bring awareness to all the Muslims who think that they are following the Quran, when in fact they are only obeying their religious leaders, who themselves are following laws of their leaders before them. The laws of the Quran are opposite of almost all laws enforced in Iran, and if followers of this government were to become aware of this fact, they will no longer blindly obey these leaders, and Iran will be free again. And in the case of Muslims and non-Muslims who are against IRI, they should pressure the government to tell them and tell the world the answers to some very simple questions. Number one, what part of the Quran commands the use of force in religion? Number two, what part of the Quran commands forcing women to wear head covering? Number three, what part of the Quran commands a supreme religious leader all the branches of the government without having any necessary education about any of these branches? Number four, what part of the Quran commands against freedom of speech? Number five, what part of the Quran commands, and so on and so forth. So what you're doing is you're bringing a lot of questions that are basically not only for the members of Islam to answer, but also for people who are non-Muslims to look and say, hey, wait a minute, we've been getting some very bad information here.
Exactly. And if the Muslim of the world look at Prophet Muhammad's life, they will see that there is a verse in the Quran that talked to Prophet Muhammad and actually told him, when you attack Mecca, make sure you accept the peace that is offered to you. Do not attack him and kill anybody. Even though Mecca had fought against Prophet Muhammad for over 10 years and had killed so many of his followers, yet when the verse says, if you do attack, there are some innocent people over there that might get killed accidentally. So make sure you don't do that. When you have a religion that talks about the life of an innocent person as such a huge thing, and God cherishes it so much, how could this religion kill so easily? How could this religion do such an evil thing? A big religious leader called Ayatollah Montazeri went against this government over 20 years ago, 15 years ago or so. And he was the person in line to become the next supreme leader after Khomeini. His name was Ayatollah Montazeri. He actually went against the government, said, I send my people to check on the jails and all of these places, and I see terrible, terrible genocides happening. People are getting killed. And in one of his stories, he said, a person called me from the prison, said, sir, we captured this man. And that man's family was talking to him, saying he didn't do anything. So he told them, could you just wait, and I will call you in the morning. In the morning, he called Ayatollah Khomeini, the main guy, to tell him that. And Ayatollah Khomeini wasn't reachable at that time. He was going to have talk to him at the lunchtime. So he called the prison to tell him, give me till afternoon. They said, no, sir, we already killed him. The article in his book that I have right now said he fell on his knees, and he said in a letter to Khomeini that even America has so many laws that if you're going to kill somebody, you have to go through so many processes. Even the last second, they have the door open for somebody to stop that execution. How could our country, in the name of Islam and God, kill so easily? where did it come from? In the same article that I wrote, I actually outlined just few things right from where you read those steps. I wrote that the religion of Islam, the real Quran, if you look at it from real Quran, is a religion of peace. And in front of it, I actually wrote one verse that promotes that. There's many, many verses, and that's on my website. But I said it's a religion of peace, chapter 60, verse 8. It's a religion that advocates war only if it is the only way to stop war. That's the way America fights, supposedly according to the Constitution. And that's, they don't fight just to promote a fight. They fight to promote peace. And that's Quran chapter 2, verse 190. It's a religion. Quran says Islam should be a religion of love, even toward one's enemy. That's Quran chapter 41, verse 34 and 35. It says it's a religion that promotes unity among Muslims, Jews, and Christians. That's chapter 3, verse 64. A religion that promotes forgiveness. That's chapter 2, 109, chapter 4, 149, and many more chapters. It's a religion that advocates turning the other cheek. Can you believe that Islam is that kind of religion? And it talks about new gospel being a great book of, from God to Jesus Christ. And that's chapter 13, verse 22, about, forgiving and turning the other cheek. It's a religion of hope. And that's chapter 2, verse 122. It's a religion that promotes its followers to contain their anger and be kind. That's chapter 3, 134. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. So many beautiful teaching. How did it change to 180-degree difference, where love became hate, and hate becomes a big prize for everybody, and everybody lived their life according to that.
That's an excellent question. Where did it go wrong?
Well, when Islam, Prophet Muhammad passed away, immediately there was tensions, and according to some people, Islam died that same day, the real true Islam. Prophet Muhammad was such a kind man that one time there was a Jewish, they say, that he was pouring trash on his head every time he passed through this one place. And he wouldn't say anything. And one time he didn't do that. So he went and knocked on the door and said, my friend used to be here every day, but he's not there. Can I see if he's okay? So he was sick. He went to his bed and he told him, I hope you're okay. And the guy fell to tears and cried that he was being bad every day to him. And Prophet Muhammad actually then visited him to make sure he's okay. This is the real Islam. Muslims would be proud to explain this kind of Islam to the world. But for a Muslim like myself to come and explain, well, the fanaticism, is good. If I was going to say fanaticism is good and suicide bombers are great and defend that, that would be embarrassing. That would be shame, But they should be saying the beautiful things. And the religious leaders, they know if they say the beautiful things, that means you don't have to go kill Americans, you don't have to hate Americans, then you don't have anything to make people excited. That's the excitement they use. So it went wrong when Prophet Muhammad first passed away, and then Iran was captured by the forces of Islam at the time that the main guy, that Iranians have a lot of kindness and love toward that person. His name is Ali, Hazrat Ali, we call it. This man was a great man, and he was against that. He was against, what happened. But anyway, they captured Iran, and things started changing, and the man-made laws started taking over the government, just like it happens to any religion. Now, somebody told me, well, then Islam is just like Christianity, and Christianity is wrong too. I told them Christianity does not promote killing. If you go to somebody's church right now and tell them, I really don't like Jesus, they say, okay, then we have to pray for you. I don't mind somebody praying for me, but I mind somebody killing me.
Oh, yeah. Exactly.
And that's what's the difference. It's not the difference between, and then the Jews, they're only 0.023%. So most of the children of Israel, they accepted Jesus. 33% of the world, almost 2 billion, are Christian. So almost every one of those Jewish people throughout the history converted to Christianity. Mathematically, their numbers is 0.23%, means zero if you round it up. And I'm not saying this with any disrespect to Jews. I love Jewish people and I have a lot of regard for Israel. But I'm saying it as most of the children of Israel became Christians. So Muslims should not say anything against Quran. And Quran has said constantly, be very careful when you deal with Christians. It says that right there in Quran. Even when you're having an argument, do it in the utmost polite manner. I read that to the anybody who is interested, I always read those verses because it says in such a clear way. Now, how do you take those verses and say to people, if you go and kill people in this airplane and just blow it up, then you're going to go to heaven? This takes a lot of work for these religious leaders to promote hatred, because Quran is so much against that. I mean, it's amazing that chapter 3, verse 113, it says they are good, upright community, the Christians. They recite God's verses throughout the small hours of the night. It says, do not argue with them, with the people of the book, Jews and Christians, unless it is in the most politest manner. That's chapter 29, verse 46, right up from the Quran. How could the world not be exploding on these verses? How could they not talk about it? To stop this fanaticism, these words should be, magnified in every news channel, I believe, that says, listen, guys, where is this? Show us in Quran. You guys should fight and kill innocent people, and then you have at least a reason, from your book.
Nader, please stand by. We've got to take our final break. X-Zone Nation, Nader Pourhassan is our special guest, and he'll be around on the other side of this commercial break with me, and I can guarantee you that Nader will be coming back quite often here on the X-Zone because he speaks of peace, not war. I'll be back. Don't go away.
Let there be peace on earth. Let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth. The peace that was meant to be. With God as our Father, brothers all are we. Let me walk with my
Nader Pourhassan is our special guest. Here's a couple of websites, christianmuslim.org and www.quran-truthlie.com. You'd like to read us something from the Bible, and we'd love to hear it.
Okay, before I read that one, I want to read a few verses so people can see how loving the Quran has teach his followers to be. And for example, I'm just want to see where did the religious leaders forgot about these verses. For example, I'm just going to read a few of them. It says, the good people, they are eager to do every good work. They compete in doing them. Another verse says, while others were eager to do good in accordance with God's will, this is the greatest triumph. Another one says, those who believe and do good, surely they are the best of men. The other one says, those who are patient and they rely in their Lord. These verses goes on and on. Excuse me. And a good comparison to that is Bible, Matthew chapter 5, verse 13, where it says, if you are a great person, then you are the salt of the earth. But if the salt loses its saltiness, how could anything be salty again? And it goes on, says, you are the light of the world. A city that is on top of the hill cannot be hidden, nor men light a lamp and put it underneath a bowl, but they put it on the lampstand so it will shine and give light to all those who are in the house. In the Quran it says, be a witness to the whole world as a doer of good. Now, if this is the things that God wants us to do, Quran also commands to follow the Bible. It says that very clearly. The Bible has given a lot of respect to the King Cyrus of Iran, which is known as Kurosh. I want to read, if you don't mind, a verse from the Bible that talks about how God dealt with this king. It says, the Second Chronicle 36:22 says, now in the first year of Cyrus, king of Persia, that the word of the Lord by the mouth of Jeremiah might be fulfilled, the Lord stirred up the spirit of Cyrus, king of Persia, so that he made a proclamation throughout all his kingdom, and also put it in the writing, saying, thus says Cyrus, king of Persia, all the kingdoms of the earth the Lord God of heaven has given to me, and he has commanded me to build up a house at Jerusalem, which is in Judah, who is among you of all his people. May the Lord his God be with him and let him go up. Now, the verse goes on and talks about how Cyrus granted permission to them and freed children of Israel. I wish that the Muslim people, especially the one in Iran, realize that there is a lot of verses like that, how great Iran used to be. So we have so much to unite. You know, in Bible we're talking about Iran, and Quran talks about great people.
Nader, I hate to do this, but we're running very short on time. Let our listeners know how they can contact you for more information.
www.christianmuslim.org. Muslim is M-U-S-L-I-M, and the other one, Quran-truth-or-lie.org. And thank you so much for having me.
It's always a great pleasure. Exo Nation, when I come back from this news break at the top of the hour at 6.5 minutes past, Dr. Len Horowitz is in-house talking about the truth behind the H1N1 as well as vaccinations. My name's Rob McConnell. This is the X-Zone, live and around the world from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, on the all-new X-Zone Broadcast Network.